mean, at the beginning, you're like, why are you following me? Why are you following me? And at one point, when I had mono when I was on the show, and I handled it really well when I went to the hospital, you know. And I was just like, why are you following me? Like, I have mono, I'm sick, I want to go home. And the camera's still in your face. So by the end of the show, you're like, why aren't the cameras following me? And you just get used to it. It's like, one person described it as like having a child with you all the time. I mean, it's funny, there's a lot of rules and a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that go on. So you develop these relationships with the camera people. Like, you may not know, but you can never know their names. So these people live with you and they're in your house all the time, but you don't know their names. And like, some other hidden secrets are, we had a 1:30 curfew, so we had to be home by then, and we couldn't have sleepovers. You could only have 5 people sleep over the house the entire time. You had to give a 10-minute warning before you left the house whenever you were leaving, and you could only go to certain places that were approved by production.
Oh wow. Yeah, we could definitely tell from the hospital, you know. Kind of wondering why they would still keep cameras on you.
Right.
But
I was like, I'm not good with needles, so let's not show this to the world. But we did.
Of course they did. We know you were on some challenges. I think the Inferno, maybe in the Island.
Yep, I was on the Inferno 3 and the Island, and it didn't take long for me to realize that I suck at the challenges. You know what? I always thought it would be like Color War, like camp, like rah rah, so much fun, and you get there and you're like, oh my god, it's an actual like triathlon. Like, I just watched the end of the whatever one was on, I guess the duel, and I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't even do the first part of it. It's so physically challenging. That was the problem with the Inferno 3. The Island was different, you know. It was very much like you're stranded on this island, you know. This is, I just got distracted because that sign said jail. It was like there was nothing to do. There were no day-to-day challenges. So it was like all I did was lay out and sleep. And then everyone was like, oh, you're not involved in it. And it really wasn't, because it was everybody like fighting behind each other's backs. So I kind of took the just chill out road on that last challenge. But if I do a third challenge, and that's a very huge if, I would like to get past the halfway mark and have competed in a challenge. Like, I've never won a duel or a face-off or anything, and I don't think I'll ever win. Like, the chances of that, I always said if it was like a Jeopardy contest or like Scrabble tournament, I would be awesome. But they don't seem to be coming out with the Scrabble 4, so.
They had puzzles, that was the
right. Like, but then in order to get to the puzzles, you had to have won all these other challenges. So,
yeah.
You know, I think I would just like to do one more to maybe clear my name. But whenever I think of that, I think about having to train for it, and I don't really want to do that. I'm a little bit lazy, so maybe I'll just continue watching it.
Either way, I think it'd be fun. What was the funniest experience you've had on any of the shows?
The funniest experience I've had on any of the shows, I mean, God, there are so many just crazy hijinks that go on, like when we're not on camera. I had really funny experiences in Thailand. Davis and I, we have a clip of it actually, maybe I'll send it to you. We have a clip of us in Thailand stealing, you know, like those bracelets they write people's names on? Davis and I stole them from like this crazy Thai woman, and then she chased us out the street. So that was pretty funny. I'll try to send you that clip.
Alright, that'd be great. Our last question would be, if you could sum up your entire experience, what would you say? Would it be positive or negative, and do you regret anything that you've done?
It's a really good question. I mean, now I'm 25 years old, and looking back on it, I said a lot of things that I wouldn't say now. I did a lot of things I probably wouldn't do now, but when I was 22, that's who I was, and I don't regret it for a minute. I would suggest going on this show to anybody who thinks that they're strong enough to do it. You need to have a really good sense of self and who you are before you can be put into this kind of situation. Because it does change a lot of people, and it affects everybody differently. For me, all in all, it was a positive experience, and if I was 22, then I would do it all over again.
All right, thank you so much for interviewing.
Oh, thank you for having me. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.